Hey everybody, it's Ike and
Christine. Hi.
And we're back at our normal location. This is episode number 17. And today we got to thank a couple of people. Thank you, Heather from Sweden, for subscribing to us. That's pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed the show. Welcome aboard. Mr. Larry Lawson from Indian River Hauntings. Get well, my friend. I understand you're not feeling too good. Get better. Hurry up. For our beer challenge today, our beer is brought to us by Kevin Smith. And he brought this to us a while ago, but we're getting a stockpile of beer. That's our problem. For who? So this is called Sweet Stout Imperial. It's a bourbon beer. You know my thoughts on this. Check it out. Okay, there we go. It's not an IPA. Got our wish.
Thank you.
This is 11.9% alcohol.
Oh, I might eat my words.
Regular beer will be fine. We don't need these high octane beers all the time, people. But
we're not that high speed.
We're not going to complain. Thank you, Joseph Baca, for this super high speed bottle opener.
That is high speed though.
So because this is a bourbon beer, and we're somewhat amateurs when it comes to bourbon beers, we're going to drink this like a bourbon. I'm not going to put it on rocks. This is coming out like tar. Hold on.
Smells great.
I'll balance it out here. This never seems to end.
This is a lot for one bottle.
It's kind of like syrup. Once again,
molasses.
Imperial Sweet Stout Bourbon Beer.
Smells good.
Prost.
Prost.
Let's give it a try.
Not bad.
It's very sweet. It doesn't taste like a bourbon, really. It just tastes more like a really sweet, thick beer. Surprisingly good. I wouldn't want to drink
I was not expecting it, to be honest.
I wouldn't want to drink a whole lot of this, but scale of 1 to 10, what do you give it?
And you first.
4.
Seriously, a 4?
I'm not a big fan of dark, heavy beers.
I was going to give it a 6, but
Well, that's
now
what
we're
you like.
considering.
4. I like, it's a good beer, but my taste is light-colored beers, pilsners, that kind of stuff. This is very thick, very.
And you wouldn't want to drink a lot of it.
No. Not this time. So I hope you enjoyed our last episode. We were out at the old Air Force Base, that radar station. A pretty creepy place. Didn't pick up a whole lot of stuff, but did get some EVPs. Thank you, Chris Hoff. He analyzes most of our videos that we submit and always finds more. He's got an ear for that stuff. And a lot of them, after he points them out, when he sends us, when he usually texts me and lets me know what he found, I'll recheck them. I'll put my headphones on and check them, and sure enough, you gotta have an ear for this stuff. Somebody just last week told me, I can't hear any of these EVPs that you got on there, and I'm like, sound, you gotta have decent headphones, and you gotta be playing it from a decent piece of equipment. If you're playing it over your crappy $5 freaking iPad through, earbuds that were free on Wish, you're probably not going to hear a whole lot. You got to have quality equipment to hear it, but trust me, it's there. Like I said, do your own experiments. Use your phone, use a recording app. Works pretty good. So anyway, today's story, it's another one of my famous police stories. It's kind of a weird one. And the officer there were several people present, but one of the officers that was present, I wish she could be here to help confirm the story. So this happened probably, I'm guessing 3.5 years ago. And we had a medical call. This person hasn't been heard of in some time. And you always assume it's a death. So me and his officer go over to this house, and prior to medical arriving on scene, we entered the house and opened up the door, walk inside, and you could just smell it, and walk to the bedroom, and dead person laying on the bed. So we walked back out, and let one of the medics come in just to confirm the death. It was pretty obvious. So at that point, you always treat it as like a crime scene, because you really don't know. So me and this officer, we start from the outside in. So I have a camera, I'm just it's a digital camera, and I'm just taking pictures. The front door went into the kitchen, taking pictures of the kitchen and the cabinets, and apparently this guy lived by himself, and he was probably, I don't know, maybe in his mid to late 50s, early 60s, somewhere there. It was hard to tell. And then I take pictures of the hallway, and then the living room, and the bathroom, and the medicine cabinet, and all the medicines. And then eventually we end up in the room where he's at. It was his bedroom, and it's a tiny little bedroom. And I still remember the TV was still on, and SpongeBob was playing, and the volume of the TV was really loud. So we go in there and I take pictures, everything in his room, all the medicines on his nightstand, and the way he's laying, and the blankets, and any kind of fluids, that kind of stuff, just like you would when you're processing a crime scene. So I back out, and me and this officer, there's a room next to the bedroom, and since the bedroom was so small, 2 or 3 medics showed up, and they were in there processing whatever they do, bag them and all that stuff, and waiting for OMI to show up. So while we were in the bedroom, in the next door bedroom, we're just sitting there chit-chatting, and we both hear the screen door to the house open. It creaks open like, pap. And my first thought was a family member showed up, and that's always bad news, because you never know what state of mind they're going to be in. Or, so I told her, the female officer, I said, go check who just came in. So she goes around, and she comes back 2 minutes later, and she goes, nobody. And we both heard the door. I'm like, that was pretty strange. So I walked back around to the bedroom where the subject was laying, and the fire chief at the time was, I don't know what he was doing, fire chief stuff. But he turns around suddenly, looks at me, goes, huh? And I'm like, what? He goes, what'd you say? And I'm like, I didn't say anything. He goes, I heard you whisper in my ear. And another fire department fellow was there, and he heard it also. I didn't hear it, but they both looked at me like I asked them a question, and I'm like, I didn't say anything. And in the meantime, I had turned the TV down, the SpongeBob TV off, because it was just way too loud. So that was kind of the second strange thing that happened there. And the fire chief's name was Steve. The other guy's name was Brian. You guys watch these videos. Shout out to you guys. If I'm forgetting something about this story, feel free to email me and we'll edit this part in next time around. So the OMI shows up, the Office of Medical Investigator shows up and declares the body, and they bag him and tag him and all this good stuff. And we finish processing the scene, and we're all clear. And we go back to the police station, and I grab my digital camera and I start downloading it. And all the pictures of the body are missing. And it's in sequence. You can see, where it entered, you can see the kitchen, you can see the living room, the bathroom, the medication, and the airplane flying by. And as we walk into the bedroom where the body lies, those pictures were gone. They were blank. Even though the pictures are numbered, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was like 52 was the first picture of the body. 52 was on the camera, but it was a blank picture. Every single picture of the body was missing. The picture of the medicine that didn't show the body was there, but anytime there was a body involved, it was gone. Pretty strange. Right after I walk out of the bedroom, all the pictures are back. So I thought, maybe the camera malfunctioned, who knows? So the other officer was wearing a body cam, and we review her body cam, and she's looking at me as I'm taking pictures, and of course I got the flash on, it's indoors. You could see me taking pictures of the body because the camera's flashing every single time. But they all disappeared. Bing. Was that the timer? Are we done?
I think so. Lunch break.
We'll be back, union job. So, yeah, that was kind of a strange, it's one of the milder, less spectacular stories I tell, but those are the kind of stories that so many cops experience, just little stuff that make you scratch your head and say, That was kind of weird. Then you really don't take it any further. You just leave it at that. Stand by for a bourbon taste.
Any better?
Oh, no.
Still a 4?
Still a 4. It's quickly moving down to a 3. So, some people have said, how come, or are you guys ever going to do any Bigfoot videos? And is there any Bigfoots out here, Sasquatch, out here in the New Mexico area? And I'm like, yes, there is. You and I have personally found a footprint, barefoot footprint, in the middle of nowhere on the side of a hill nobody has hiked in many years. That was in the mud, and it probably measured 16, 17 inches long.
I think we measured it with my hand, and it was still like that much over my hand.
A lot longer.
It's like that, maybe? This?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. It was big.
This is like this long.
Yeah.
So there's a video out on my other channel that shows a picture of that footprint. But it was springtime, it was still cold, the mornings were still freezing. Who in their right mind walks around barefooted out there in that country? That was out there in the gold country area. And there's another guy on YouTube. He actually has done some Bigfoot investigations in that whole area out there and has just tons of stuff that he's found. And I can see it. I don't know what a Bigfoot is. I've personally never seen one. I've worked for a company when I was a logger, and they were up in Oregon before they came to New Mexico, and the boss, he actually followed a set of tracks, barefoot footprints, for over half a mile through a creek, up a hillside and everything else, in the snow, in Oregon. So, and he was a very religious kind of guy who really didn't believe in, anything out of paranormal, but he believed in that one after he's seen it. He's like, wow, that was pretty strange. So, also the Jemez Mountain has had stories of Bigfoot, Sasquatch. The Navajo Reservation, they believe in a big hairy man, to the point where the Navajo police, and I've talked to Navajo Rangers, to the point where they actually are tasked to investigate whenever somebody makes a complaint about the big hairy man. So yeah, people are going to want to know if we're actually going to go out looking for a Bigfoot. Now, like I said, we found tracks, and I've got this sneaky suspicion that, we might find some more tracks before we know it, huh? You never know. Okay, we have these cool IDK shirts. They're long sleeve shirts with the alien IDK. Probably going to start making these. I'm not going to make them, but we're going to provide these. Also looking at maybe some stickers. Once again, I appreciate your support. This channel is still growing. We're doing good. Having fun doing it. We're probably going to go out and about again for the next video. There's still many ideas and many things we got in mind. You got anything to say?
No.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Have you ever seen a Bigfoot?
No, but we've heard Bigfoot.
Weird. And Mr. Kevin Ross, you still haven't contacted us. We're a half mile over for you. Just email me, idkparanormal@gmail.com. Shoot me your address. We'll send it out to you. I'm going to hold on to it for 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. And it's going to go back up with something else added to it. Snooze, you lose. One of our future episodes, we're probably going to do a UFO episode.
Ooh.
It's going to be cool.
That is very cool.
Looking forward to that. So anyway, if you have nothing else to say.
No.
No, me neither. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.